The Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court's E-Litigation Portal offers a comprehensive suite of true end-to-end court technology with features that will have a transformative effect on the legal landscape in the OECS. Court proceedings in the jurisdiction will transition from an archaic filing system to a more efficient, streamlined electronic process.
This is our vault area, where we store not only court files, but all the files at the registry departments.
Recently, in one of the registries, not here, a piece of global litigation was started. And the claimant's legal team spent a whole week in the registry filing about 250 claim forms. With the e-litigation portal, all that could have been done in a couple of hours.
Let's say you have a 4-week trial. As part of preparation for that trial, you have a disclosure process. And in big trials, that disclosure results in a huge amount of documents having to be printed and bundled and put before the court and being available during trial for the court to use.
And I remember we did a case a few years ago where we had to, the parties, we had to take bookshelves into court because there was just not enough space for all the material.
We have files in the registrar office, deputy registrar, court administrator, both criminal and civil courtrooms, in the vault where we store some in archives. So sometimes it's difficult to access files when you need it urgently, with so much paper.
So in terms of having ready access to files, this would be the better option, to have it in the cloud where you could have easy access to it as opposed to having more storage space to store the files.
The portal is designed using what we call a real intuitive graphic user interface, in the sense that with case creation and other processes, there are various steps that the system indication can show that where things are at in the process.
Every step of the way, everything is logged. Every process is going to be followed. It has to be followed because you can't miss a step. The system will not allow you to miss a step.
I must say that as I went through the training, I was totally blown away by the system, especially by its simplicity and its ease of use. It's a very practical, hands-on, easy to use and easy to understand system.
We have different levels of user groups and different access rights associated with those users. So we have judges with different access rights, case managers, registrars with different access rights. With the law firm, we have the administrators, along with normal legal practitioners and legal secretaries, all with different access rights.
For the registrars, our signatures, everything can be done electronically. We can see what goes on in a matter, see where we need to come in.
It helps my job as a judge because at the start of a matter, a judge is assigned electronically by the e-litigation portal. And that gives the judge a supervisory function, as it were, over the case from day one.
Sometimes we've had cases where documents may have been filed and they simply have not reached on the court's docket. So one wants to avoid as far as possible those types of scenarios where you'll then later learn a decision may have been taken, but not with the benefit of documents which may have been filed at some point, at some later point.
The judge will have all of the papers in their case, and I think that that's very, very important because so often matters cannot progress because the judge hasn't received the papers or the papers haven't been put on the file as yet.
So even though the timelines still apply because it's governed by the rules of court, the fact is you can do your filings at any time.
Attorneys love it. They're filing documents at any hour of the night. You can, from the comfort of your home, office, your car, file your documents. And they have embraced it like you would not believe.
With this system, as you're filing, you will be able to see availability in all the courts, who is where, which attorney, if you're an attorney where you have other matters that have already been listed.
They can see schedules for judicial officers, and they can see whether there are scheduling conflicts, for example.
So that the court itself would not be able to double schedule an attorney for a matter, which would make life a lot easier.
You can actually get the system to auto-accept something, get your case number, and get your notification immediately.
As a matter of fact, because the rules that accompany this new process also make provision for service via this process, you've also accelerated the time within which you can serve the other side by this process.
We live in a sort of microwave age where clients are expecting that when they send you documents, they can get them back yesterday. And I think with this system, it will facilitate or being able to sort of please our clients a lot quicker.
Because in the absence of that, when you file a document manually, as we used to before this, you had to report back to the client, oh, we filed the document. Okay, can I get a copy? We don't have it back from the court yet.
A lot of times attorneys are able to blame the court because the clients don't know how to check on the file, or the clients are relying on the attorney to interface with the court office. So I think the e-litigation system, especially clients being aware of it and how they can contact the court office and interface with it, would help to eliminate some of that.
I'm gonna take one for the team and say, us poor attorneys, we get so much flack for these things happening, but a lot of times it's not in our control. I think this system is going to assist with that.
The public expects, and any litigant ought to expect, that my matter is dealt with and that it is dealt with fairly and timely.
Right now, you file, it's on the system, it's uploaded with a notification, you know where you have to do. It cuts off the time which it takes to do any task by possibly about 80%. Our judges would now have everything at their fingertips.
A judge can walk with his tablet, access the portal, all the documents filed by the lawyers right there. They can create bundles.
There's the pack and go feature in that the materials that they want to read, they can download it onto their computers, save it into a folder, and read it at any time, whether you have Wi-Fi or internet or not.
The Court of Appeal is an itinerant court and it moves from country to country. And I'm sure the Chief Justice would have mentioned how burdensome it has been to move big boxes of documents from one jurisdiction to the next when they fly out to have hearings.
Currently, what we do at headquarters, as soon as one sitting is over, we are back to preparing for the next without a break. And we have to have our clerks basically collate all of that material, pack them into boxes, and we have to travel out with those boxes, invariably on LIAT. If the boxes are too many, there have been times when the court would have to charter a private plane. Now, how does that material get there? That material comes in, and invariably comes in by whether it's FedEx, courier packages, and then it has to be taken back out.
The airline, the costs involved of overweight and many boxes having to be calculated in terms of how much it's going to cost to put those boxes on the airlines, how much it's going to cost the Court of Appeal headquarters to pay for those overweights.
So can you imagine walking with a thumb drive in your pocket, which contains all of those bankers' boxes of material, as against paying the cost of all of those boxes to be taken from one state back to St. Lucia and back again? What a difference it makes in terms of costs and time and labor.
Operational efficiency, you could see being increased throughout.
So you move from that type of scenario the lawyer cost and the material cost of producing that huge amount of documentation to a much more streamlined and efficient system where everything is accessible electronically to the users in the court, that can translate into huge cost savings.
It's all uploaded, it's all online. Everybody can just get it right there. You don't need to get a process server to go to serve your documents.
So the idea is to make it transparent so everybody knows where the cases are stuck in.
The transparency is going to be heightened and significantly increased in that you can log onto the portal, log into your matter, and you could see every single thing that has happened in the matter.
If one is represented, then the expectation is that they would have to continue with their lawyer to get information pertaining to the matter. But if that person is unrepresented, then it's a responsibility of the court staff when that unrepresented litigant walks into the court to provide that litigant with every information pertaining to his or her case.
That's going to be important. At the moment, there is a perception that once it goes in through the registry doors, it goes into some kind of black hole, something is done to the papers, and then eventually it comes out again.
Persons can go and see, well, this is how it happens electronically. You know, it'll take away some of the mystery of the legal system and the operations of the legal system.
It also takes out, I think, the factor of where a person may forget to really place on there a proper filing date and time, which may impact how a matter is to be dealt with. So that also, I think, is a plus in terms of taking out some of the vagaries of human behavior in a way out of the equation in terms of filings, processing, and that information getting to the attention of the proper officer in a timely manner.